Hi, Mr. Ojo, you can begin.
Welcome to this presentation, which seeks to address the problem of traffic congestion. This is Group 5 of the IT Management class, level 300. This presentation has membership of 6: Alex Odro Jr., Michelle Trey, Prosper J. Boy, Miriam Oklu, Prince, Donko, and Isaac Ajiraku. Traffic congestion, it's a significant issue that affects many cities, especially developed and developing cities in the world. It can cause long travel times, lost productivity, increased air pollution, and economic cost as well. In this presentation, we will explore the problems of traffic congestion and examine potential solutions to address it using a system thinking approach. To understand traffic congestion, first of all, we must recognize it as a complex system made up of many different components. Now, when you look at traffic congestion and you take the individual components that consist or come together to form this traffic congestion, you realize that just one part cannot make any impact. That is why we resort to this complexity and approach and a holistic approach to addressing the system. The transportation system includes, for example, the road networks, public transit systems. That is how in Ghana, we will say that Trotro system, and then Kufuor bus, those kind of public transport system. And then also we talk about individual vehicles. We also look at traffic management systems and the people who use them. So with this public transit system, we can also look at trains, and also, even if the need may be, we are looking at ferries and all that. You'll realize that each component of the system is interconnected and can impact other components in both expected and unexpected ways. Adapting a system thinking approach, we are looking at a better way to understand the complexity dynamics of this transportation system, and also to enable us identify effective solutions to reducing this traffic congestion. Now, we are going to talk about the transportation system as a complex system. This means that there are many different components that interact with each other in various ways. So let me cite some few examples in this network system. When you look at, for example, the road network and the traffic management systems, this may impact the flow of traffic. And it can also in turn affect travel times and the behavior of individual drivers. Similarly, public transit system can also compete with private vehicles for the road space, and the choice people make all contributes to this traveling impacts on overall system. So just to explain this point, you will realize that there are public transport, for example, and individual ownership of vehicles. Now, when we have a system where the public transit system is looked at and more investment is made into that, more people will not be interested in their private or individual vehicles. And in so doing, the public transit system will generate a lot of money. And this will also enhance the system where a lot of people will to become more attractive, because that is generates a lot of money. It becomes more attractive. People will park their cars and then join this public transit system. So in so doing, it's going to ease a lot of traffic in the cities. Now, I also want to bring our attention to this, that recognizing the complexity of the transportation system, we can begin to understand the many different factors that contribute to traffic congestion. For example, a system thinking approach encourages us to look beyond individual components of the system and instead focus on the interactions between them. So when we are looking at the system thinking approach, we don't just look at just public transit system vis-a-vis individuals. But now, because of how we are going to look at the system thinking approach, we are going to increase our horizon to take care of other components within that also comes to affect this transport traffic congestion. And as we go on, the narration will be made more effective. So, for example, looking at the congestion, we can understand that the results of a number of different feedback loops within the transportation system. For example, we are going to look at more vehicles when it's being added onto the road. Now, because of the system thinking approach, we are not looking at just the individual transportation vis-a-vis public transport, but now we are even going to look at the network of roads. So when we look at this loop, now we add, for example, what we call the network of road system. This travel speed, it reduces travel speed, and then also it also reduces longer traveling times. It also increase greenhouse or decrease the greenhouse gas emission, for example. These feedback loops create a self-reinforcing system that can be difficult to break without a comprehensive approach. Now, when you look at the feedback loop approach, there is a key component in the system thinking, and they play a critical role in understanding traffic congestion. In this context, a feedback loop in a circle in which an action or event leads to a reaction, which in turn affects future actions or events. So let me explain this. For example, when we consider the feedback loop approach between traffic flow and traffic time or traveling time, we'll realize that as more cars enter a congested roadway, traffic flow slows down, which then increases travel times. As travel times also increases, more drivers may choose to take alternative routes or leave earlier in an attempt to avoid this congestion. However, this can then lead to an increased traffic on those alternative routes, which can create new congestion problems. And also, by understanding the different feedback loops at play in the transportation system, we can then also begin to identify points of interventions where small changes can have a big impact. So, for example, when we improve traffic flow on a single route, it can have a ripple effect on other roads in the network, and this will reduce congestion and improve travel times all over the city. Now we want to look at some of the solutions that can help us to avert this traffic congestion. When we try to improve public transit in one key, it leverages the point for reducing traffic congestion, for example. And by providing reliable and affordable public transit options, more people, for example, may choose to use public transit vis-a-vis driving alone in their cars. This will also reduce overall traffic volume and decreasing congestion in the city. So we are trying to say that another way when we try to look at this system thinking approach with this traffic congestion is that after we look at alternative routes and also trying to build road infrastructure, one of the ways also is to improve public transit, where when it becomes attractive, individuals also tends to park their cars and then join this public transport. And in so doing, it also eases traffic in the cities and on the roads. And also investing into public transit can also help to reduce greenhouse gas emission and also improve the air quality. And I believe that one of the ways, one of the things we are fighting for in this world is green gas emission. And when we are able to fight this, it helps in totality what we call the thinking approach that fights this system of excessive congestion of traffic in our cities. So in conclusion, we are trying to say that traffic congestion is a significant problem that requires a comprehensive and multifaceted approach to be addressed. And by adapting a system thinking approach, we can better understand the complexity and the dynamics of the transportation system and identify effective solutions to reduce this traffic congestion. Leveraging this public transit is one of the key solutions, but it is not the only solution. Also, addressing traffic congestion requires coordination among various stakeholders, including city planners, transportation agencies, businesses. So, for example, businesses, not all businesses being cited in cities, but there can be a government policy that other businesses can be cited in other cities or nearby twin cities. Also, residents, how everybody wants to live in the city. There's no attractive centers within the outskirts that will attract people to build their homes and their residence outside the cities. So by working together, we can create more efficient and more sustainable and livable cities for all. So we think that looking at this in a holistic manner is going to help in a great deal. We thank you for listening to us.